Okay, so this title says Jacob. I didn't even put Jacob in the title. Oh my gosh, Yana, every time. Close my door. It's like you prompted me to get louder. Okay, so the title on here says close the door, close the door, close the door, close the door. Thank you. My children. It's about Jacob and Jacob and Esau. This is in Genesis, and like I was having a discussion earlier today because I relate pretty much everything to the Bible because there's nothing. I mean, I'm not over religious because, but I relate everything pretty much to the Bible because everything that happens on earth has already happened. It happened in biblical times. It's kind of like reoccurring. I saw I had one person and they left. But anyway, so basically, this discussion is talking about. I was looking at what's that guy named Mark Messenger, and he was talking about the characteristics to know if they're from the devil. And one of them, which kind of caught me off guard, well, that caught me is like once they have gotten you to backslide or to sin, they disappear. I've had this to happen on two occasions, and I'm like, so you know what I'm saying? I know it's not. That's a fact because I've experienced this. So I'm making this video pretty much to kind of help people tell them what not to do through my experience. So basically, first and foremost, I saw a sermon and it was kind of covering over Genesis 28 and how he was dealing with his whole situation and his birthright or whatever for the most part. And it was kind of like discussing how, and he went into how when you're trying to walk right, you will have the opposing side trying to weaponize your Christianity, or like I like to say, I'm a follower of the way because I'm not really too much into titles. I don't have to have a title. Like I have that and that. I work for it, but the titles don't define me as a person. So, and another thing that's constantly attacked that I'm noticing are spiritual attacks are the attacks on my intelligence, the attacks on what I've accomplished, right? So typically everything that I did was good that was in the past. It was actually in the past. So in my situation, things are kind of like backwards where you tell people don't judge you by your past, but like all of my accomplishments are in the past as far as what I've done bad things, not bad things. I was in sin in the past, but then there were some times when I wasn't in sin that wasn't in the past. As of right now, I've made minor milestones, but the spiritual attack on me is so heavy because I did backslid to the point where I was even questioning the validity of the Bible. And if I have people around me like that, they will try to draw me back into that. The first question that I even asked was, how do you explain why you wake up in the morning? You can't explain that. Science can't explain that. So you know there is a higher power in the force. The thing about aliens, I really can't say what that is. I know that in Genesis 6 it talks about the Nephilim and how they you know, basically impregnated the women or whatever. But no one actually knows. Basically, you're operating off of your faith system. You really don't know definitively. Some things can kind of be proven scientifically or show evidence that it occurred, but you don't really actually know if that's you know what I'm saying, authentic. Just as with the cloth that was supposed to have been over Jesus's face, that came back and said that it wasn't authentic. So it all really lies down to your belief system. What you believe, your belief, your mind is a very powerful tool. That's why the enemy always tries to attack your mind first. And you have to not see sometimes what's in front of you, but look beyond the surface. It's a little bit deeper than what the eyes can see. You have to have spiritual ears, spiritual eyes, and spiritual ears to sometimes notice what's going on around you. Right now, this earth is under like it's under like a spirit of confusion. Stop, baby. A spirit of confusion. For the I'm not speaking that into existence, but there's so certain elements that excuse me one second. Come on. Yeah, I said let's make you one. Here, Madison, you can just listen to the it's under like a spirit, like it's just in a state of when they say the love of many will wax cold. You also have to be very thin life lies within the tongue. I one day I was talking to somebody and I quoted Proverbs 28:15. That is not the right Proverbs. I think it's Proverbs 18. But the fact that I even uttered 28 Proverbs 28:18 let me knew that God was probably. And let me read what Proverbs 28:15 says. I know in Job 9, chapter 9, I'm not sure the verse, but it says, when the land is wicked, the judges are blind. I think it's not chapter 9 verse, I'm not sure. But I think this Proverbs kind of was closely related to that. And hold on, let me find it so I can say it exactly the way it's supposed to be said. But and then when they're so heavily talking about AI is actually was a region, if I'm not mistaken, in the Bible in the book of Joshua 8. So when I say that the things that are written in here, okay, so Proverbs 28:15 indicates as a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. A man that doeth violence, the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. Whosoever walketh uprightly shall be saved, but the perverse in his way shall fall at once. I don't know. Let's go to the verse. I'm gonna go. He did 28:15, but I'm gonna go up to 28:13 to get to 2:15. So I'm starting 11. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor man that have understanding searcheth him out. When righteous men do rejoice, there is a great glory, but when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. He that covered his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardened his heart shall fall into mischief. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hath covetousness shall prolong his days. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his way shall fall at once. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. To have respect of persons is not good, for a piece of bread that man will transgress. He that hasteth to be rich have an evil eye, and consider not that the poverty shall come upon him. Okay, now this one, Proverbs 28:21 says, to have respect of persons is not good. For a price of bread that man will transgress. Basically, it's saying right there, it's that if you kind of like have like with the celebrities, if you have respect for them, like if they were to, you would do basically anything for a piece of bread. That's why I tell my children or anybody, like, your morals and your integrity is the most valuable thing that you possess. It doesn't even have a value. Don't do any and everything for a profit. That's not like honorable. Sometimes you the situations that your back is up against the wall and you see yourself finding yourself probably thinking about doing something that you would normally not do under normal circumstances. Don't do it. I've been in that situation. I've done things that I'm not actually proud of, that I've had to repent from. But at the end, it's not worth it, because after you do it, you feel cheap. You feel like your value is gone. Like recently, I was celibate for a year and a half, and I let my lust get the best of me. I can't just fully put that on the person, but they knew the circumstance, and like this person is like, I thought, hey, this is it. Like he was a little bit younger than me, but I'm thinking this person is it, and it wasn't, because, well, I'm not gonna go too much into that, but anyway, I basically jeopardized my purity, my time, for something that wasn't, because I was trying to wait until marriage. I can't necessarily put it on him, but that's why, like, you really can't even touch if you trying to do that. But realistically speaking, it is very hard to do when you're like attracted to someone. And of course, I have 6 kids prior, so of course I'm not a virgin. But that is something that I really took immense amount of pride in, that I sustained and kept myself for that long, and then I messed up and now I have to start over. But my message to girls, like, when you are pure, you're a virgin, please value your body. Your body is a precious temple that shouldn't be defiled by anybody. That is a gift that you give to your husband on your wedding day. And things were, if we operated the way that the Bible wanted us to operate, those instructions that have been given to us, if we actually followed those instructions, a lot of stuff wouldn't be the way that it is. And I've noticed that people tend to find any and everything that they can blame for stuff, when actually you didn't follow the instructions. Now, my biggest thing that I've heard is that the system is meant to keep families together. It's really not. It's just that, like, if two people are together, there shouldn't be, well, I'm not gonna say it shouldn't be, because it could happen where things get hard and you need help to make ends meet. But the way the system is set up, that they don't want a woman, I'm not gonna say a woman and a man, but if the foundation of a home is a mother and a father, you need that. You need that feminine and that masculine energy. or things are going to be off. You know what I'm saying? So what's happening is there's a lot of, especially in my gender and my race, with black women, being realistic, there's not a lot of men in the home. And for whatever reason it is, and then we're attacked because we act too masculine, but we haven't had a chance to be feminine, because when we had to play the role of mom, a lot of us had to be mom and dad in certain situations. So I don't want to be in a position where I don't know where to go. In it right now, I'm going through my wilderness phase, my humiliation phase, because anything that I say, the enemy tries to attack and make it to be out to be wrong. Like anything that I say, it's made to be wrong. So that's like, and I'm understanding these attacks at this present time, but it's like I haven't spoke and said anything. So he's waiting for me to actually, I think, step into what he actually wants me to do, because like it's time out for the shy me. I have to step into my level of authority. I just have to, because I've reached that age. So mainly, like this is the moment where I have to crawl, like get myself out of this hole. I have to make something work. I can't look to other people for direction, because at this point somebody's supposed to be looking at me, looking to me for direction. So it's like, where do you go from here? It can't be like I don't know or whatever. But um that's basically where I am with the current situation.